Good morning, students. Welcome to Bindu Dadwal Chemistry Lessons. Today, the topic that we cover is Bohr's model for hydrogen atom. Niels Bohr in 1913 proposed a new model of atom. The main postulates of the Bohr's theory are: in hydrogen atom, the electron is revolving around the nucleus in a circular, well-defined circular path of fixed radius and energy. This circular path is known as orbit, and the corresponding energy state of the electron is called stationary state. The energy of an electron in its orbit does not change of its own with time. It remains same. When a required amount of energy is supplied to an electron, it absorbs the same in fixed amount of bundles called quanta and jumps to higher energy state called the excited state. The same energy is released when the electron jumps from higher stationary state to lower stationary state, and mathematically the change in energy when it jumps from higher to lower is E2 minus E1. So here we see that this is the orbit in which electron is normally present, and this when it is present here, it's called the ground state of atom. If from outside energy supplied to this electron, it jumps to a higher energy state, and the amount of energy absorbed is difference in energy of the two levels. So delta E will be E2 minus E1. This much energy will be absorbed. Now, as the excited state is unstable, so it falls back to its ground state, and when it does so, energy is emitted and the change in energy is the same, E2 minus E1. Then the different energies levels or energy shells for electrons are designated as K, L, M, N, etc., or 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. So here you can see that the atom which is next to the orbit which is next to the nucleus is the first orbit, N is 1, or it is also called K shell. Similarly, second is called L, third is called M, fourth is called N. Then next postulate, only those energy orbits are permitted for electrons in which the angular momentum of the electron is a whole number multiple of h by 2 pi. That is, angular momentum is mvr is equal to n into h by 2 pi, where n is 1, 2, 3, 4. So m is the mass of electron, v is the tangential velocity of the electron, and r is the radius of the orbit in which the electron is present. N is an integer, its value can vary from 1 to higher upwards, and h is Planck's constant, and angular momentum on this basis can be, if n is 1, h by 2 pi. If n is 2, then 2h by 2 pi. And if n is 3, then 3h by 2 pi. There is no value in between these values. So the angular momentum of an electron is quantized. Then next postulate, the most important property of electron is energy of its stationary state. It is given by the expression energy of nth orbit, electron in nth orbit is minus RH into 1 by n square. N is integer 1, 2, 3, and RH is Rydberg's constant for hydrogen, and its value is 2.18 into 10 raised to power minus 18 joules. The emission and absorption of energy can take place only in certain fixed values equal to the energy difference of the two levels. This means that electron cannot move continuously but can jump from one energy position to other. In other words, the energy of electron is quantized. Electron can take energy equal to difference of the two levels only and will jump from second to first, not in between. So energy is quantized. This can be related to the steps of a ladder. You can place your foot on the first step or on the second step. You cannot place your foot in the space between the two steps. So similarly, electron will be present on the first orbit or in the second, and will have energy of either first or second, not in between. So this energy is not continue. The energy emission when electron jumps from higher level to lower level is not continuous, but discontinuous. From the energy difference will be fixed. Achievements of Bohr's model of atoms. By Bohr's model, we can explain a number of things. The first achievement is Bohr's model has explained the stability of atom. According to Bohr's theory, the electron present in a particular energy level can not lose energy on its own. Only when energy is supplied from our outer source, it jumps to a higher energy level from the lower energy level. And as the excited state is not stable, so it will jump back from the higher energy level to the lower level. So in the stationary state, if electron is not given any energy, it remains in the same circular orbit and does not come closer to the nucleus as suspected by Rutherford. Rutherford said that the electron, because it's emitting energy continuously, it will fall back into the nucleus and the atom will collapse. But Bohr says that electron remains stationary, remains in the same level and does not change its level. So this atom remains stable. Then second achievement is Bohr's theory has been used to derive Balmer's formula. According to Bohr's theory, we have done that En is equal to minus RH into 1 upon n square. And we also know that the change in energy is energy of final minus energy of initial state. So that means change in energy will be, final state is minus RH into 1 upon nf square, minus initial state is minus RH upon ni square. So minus minus becomes plus. This term is positive, it will be written first. So you get delta E is equal to RH into 1 by ni square minus 1 by nf square. Now putting the value of Rydberg's constant, 2.18 into 10 to the power minus 18 joule, we get delta E is equal to 2.18 into 10 to the power minus 18 joules into 1 by n I square minus 1 by n f square. This is energy change. We can also calculate frequency. You know delta E is equal to h nu. So to get nu, you divide delta E by h. The frequency will be nu is equal to delta E by h, or RH upon h into 1 by ni square minus 1 by nf square. Dividing by Planck's constant value 6.626 into 10 to the power minus 34, we get 3.29 into 10 to the power 15 second inverse into 1 by ni square minus 1 by nf square. Now wave number is equal to nu by c. So dividing this value by c, 3 into 10 to the power 8 meters per second, we get 1.09677 into 10 to the power 7 into 1 by ni square minus 1 by nf square meter inverse. This was the Balmer's formula. So we can derive Balmer's formula from Bohr's theory. Third achievement is Bohr's theory has helped in calculating the energy of electron in hydrogen atom and one electron species. So the energy of electron, let us calculate it. Energy, mathematical expression for energy in nth orbit is En is equal to minus 2 pi square k square me into E4 raised to power 4 into z square upon n square h square. Here k is a constant and represents absolute permittivity of the medium, in this case vacuum, and its value is 9 into 10 to the power 9 Newton meter square C raised to power minus 2 Coulomb raised to power minus 2, or 9 into 10 to the power 9 meter cube second raised to power minus 2 Coulomb raised to power minus 2. Me is mass of electron, you know it's 9.1 into 10 to the power minus 31 kilogram. E is charge on electron, 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulombs. Z is the nuclear charge, and for hydrogen the value of Z is 1. N is the number of electron orbit. For example, if N is 1, you will put 1 in place of N. and H is Planck's constant 6.626 into 10 to the minus 34 kilogram meter square second inverse, and on substituting these values you get the answer. Energy in nth level is minus 2.178 into 10 to the power minus 18 upon n square kilogram meter square second raised to the power minus 2, or joules per atom. To convert it into joules per mole or kilojoules per mole, we multiply it with 6.023 into 10 raised to the power minus 10 raised to the power 23, and we get the value minus 1312 upon n square kilojoules per mole. So here is the diagram which shows that in the first energy level value is minus 1312 kilojoules per mole. For the second level you divide this value by n square, that is 2 square, that is 4. So you get the value minus 328 kilojoule per mole. For the third it will be divided by 9 minus 145. For 4 divided by 16 minus 82. And for fifth it will be divided by 25, so minus 52.45 kilojoules per mole. You will also see that the energy gap between the two levels, it decreases as it goes upwards. So energy levels are not equally spaced and the energy gap goes on decreasing. Then fourth achievement is Bohr's theory has explained the atomic spectrum of hydrogen atom. Normally the electron tends to be in its lowest energy state, also called the ground state. In case energy is made available to this electron from the ground state, it may absorb energy in quantums and may jump to a higher energy state, which is called the excited state. Since excited state is not stable, the electron will jump back to its ground state, and when it does so, it emits energy, quantum energy, as radiation, and the value of that delta E will be E2 minus E1, and it is also equal to h nu. So you get a line in the spectrum of frequency nu. Similarly, if electron jumps from third energy level to first, the energy difference will be E3, energy in the third minus energy in the first, and that will be equal to h nu dash. So in this way you get different lines in the hydrogen spectrum. Now you must be wondering that there is only one electron in the hydrogen atom, so why so many lines? So the explanation for that is that in actual practice the electrons absorb different amounts of energy and are excited to different higher energy states. So if they say absorb energy equal to 5 quanta, they may jump to the fifth level, or if they absorb energy 4 quanta, they may jump to the fourth level. So they jump to the higher energy state and then they jump back. Now on the return journey, it's not necessary that they will always jump in the similar manner. They may either jump from the highest level to the ground state, or may jump to the jump in parts. That is, for example, if an electron is in the fourth energy level, it may jump straight away to the first, or it may jump from fourth to second and then from second to first, or it may jump from fourth to third, then from third to first, or fourth to third, then third to second, then second to first. So different lines appear in different parts of the spectrum. So in all, there 5 bands can be seen for hydrogen atom. The first band is Lyman series, which appears in ultraviolet region. Here energy from higher orbits jump to the orbit number 1, from second to first, third to first, fourth to first, fifth to first, and so on. Here they jump to the second energy level, here they jump to the third energy level, here they jump to the fifth energy level, fourth energy level, here they jump to the fifth energy level. So the names of these bands are based on the names of the scientists who discovered them. This is Lyman series, which appears in ultraviolet region, Balmer series in visible region, Paschen, bracket, and Fund in infrared regions. In 1953, Curtis J. Humphrey discovered another band in the hydrogen spectrum. He named this series Humphrey series, in which the value of N2 is higher than 6th, 7, 8, 9, and N1 is 6. Electrons jump from higher to 6th level, and this band appears in the far infrared region. So these are generation of spectral series in the hydrogen spectrum. And you can find out the number of lines emitted in each series from the values of N2 and N1. The formula is number of emission lines is equal to N2 minus N1 into N2 minus N1 plus 1 upon 2. For example, for Lyman series, the value of N1 is 1. And if say electron is in the 5th series, then how many lines it can emit? The formula will be 5 minus 1 into 5 minus 1 plus 1 upon 2. So this comes out to be 4 into 5. 20 upon 2 is 10 lines. And we can also explain how 10 lines come. See, for electron in the 5th level may jump to 4th or 3rd or 2nd or 1st. So from 5th level 4 lines will emerge. From the 4th level 4 to 3, 4 to 2, 4 to 1, 3 lines. From 3rd 3 to 2 and 3 to 1, 2 lines. And from 2nd 2 to 1 only 1 line. So total 4, 3, 7, 2, 9, 1, 10 lines will emerge for electron. So this is how you can find out the number of lines. So this is all about the Bohr's model of hydrogen atom.